Can they talk? Their mouths and actions are their language. Never whisper behind their backs about their muscles. This is totally beyond your hospital. Isn't this just like a musical? I really want to work with them, but it might take a while. Though confident, he didn't realize his peril. As they exited, the hair puller used the bobby pin to pick the lock. However, his clumsy actions invited mockery from the evil triplets. Under pressure, he had no choice but to toss the bobby pin. After successfully grabbing the bobby pin, the magic beast quickly picked the lock. At this point, the guard finally noticed something was off and prepared to open the door for a check. Little did he know the triplets had been lurking. The eldest sharp teeth proved useful, the guard's artery booked, while the second craved jelly. With the switch flipped, all the prisoners were free again, and a terrifying yet hilarious party began. Even the cute doctor was. When the evil triplets found her, they tied her to the operating table and found some electroshock equipment. Suddenly, a powerful current swept over her. The beauty just disappeared quietly like that, and unfortunately, the poor director also met with the very same fate as her. The triplets hoisted him up in the lifting gear for a modern take on steaming doll dismemberment. Fast forward 30 years, and a bunch of youngsters are headed to a cabin in the woods. Potter went to turn up the heat while the others skied to the site. But they were having too much fun, and unknowingly veered off the path Potter pointed out, leaving stubborn Vincent to lead everyone onward. Nick wasn't wrong. Vincent led them into darkness without finding the cabin. Just then, a blizzard started, and if they slept outside, they would totally turn into popsicles. Trying to find their way back, they realized the snow had covered their previous tracks. Just when everyone was at a loss, a building appeared in front of them. They immediately jumped on their snowmobiles and raced towards it. But if they had any idea what this place was for, I bet they'd rather freeze out there. That's right, this is the abandoned mental hospital from 30 years ago. Strangely, even after decades of abandonment, there was still heating inside. This got the guys excited to go gather firewood and cook. Meanwhile, Lisa wanted to contact Potter, but unfortunately, there was no signal on her phone. At this moment, the guys who found firewood returned, made a fire, and were ready to explore. Foreigners are always curious about such places. Vincent found a bottle of 82 Lafayette in the director's office and casually popped it open to start drinking. Nick opened the case files and realized this hospital was actually for treating mental patients. I don't know, I can imagine what these people must have been like, but how crazy can they be? Not long after, they didn't bother to dig deeper since the place had been abandoned for years. The patients must have migrated long ago. Little did they know the evil triplets had just returned from hunting. Next up was their time's up. Indeed, while exploring, a shadow suddenly appeared, and the three thought it was Potter pranking them again. Vincent walked into a room to check. Unexpectedly, when he called out twice with no response, Lisa decided to go back and look for the others. But Laura didn't want to leave. She couldn't abandon her boyfriend. Vincent's thoughtless joke concerning safety made Lisa extremely furious. The three decided to return to regroup with their friends, unbeknownst to them, already targeted by someone in the dark. To express his apologies, Vincent decided to personally go down to the basement in search of the power source, and wouldn't you know it, he actually discovered an old generator there. How absolutely amusing it is. The power is useful. Sometimes it really makes a difference. Everyone forgave him for his silliness. With the power on, everything was suddenly different. After all, where the party is hosted is always a big question. The college students let all their enthusiasm flow out, but suddenly a pair of eyes behind the mirror was staring fiercely at them. Just then, Lisa found a videotape on the ground, and luck had it that there was a screening room upstairs. Nicole struggled to run the old relic, but the screen showed the full mental treatment process at the hospital. In the dead of night, Nicole couldn't sleep, so she took a flashlight to patrol. Unexpectedly, she saw someone sitting in the hallway. She called out twice, but the person didn't react at all. Judging by the clothing, it was the Potter who went to the neighboring cabin. Vincent stepped forward and gently nudged the individual, only to find, to his surprise, that Potter had transformed into a lifeless corpse. She called out twice, but the guy didn't respond at all. Vincent, totally confused, ended up with a takeout. The next morning, Laura found that her boyfriend hadn't returned all night and promptly went out to search. Lisa guessed that Vincent was probably up to his classic pranks again. Just then, Black Rose ran back and claimed she was playing bridge with Caitlin last night, but Caitlin was still at home. A living person just vanished like that, so the group decided to split up and search for them. Lisa, Laura, and the blonde headed to the basement to look for clues. Filled with torture tools, it resembled a torture chamber more than a hospital. The next day, they embarked on the same route Vincent had taken before, observing carefully along the way, and upon noticing blood in the glass, Nicole began to feel increasingly alarmed. "I'll stay here, okay? I'll go check. Do you think it could be Vincent?" When they were still puzzled, chaos erupted downstairs. Laura, leading, saw a deformed person carrying her boyfriend's body. Fortunately, she reacted quickly and wasn't noticed. Then, her boyfriend was tossed onto the operating table by the monster. At this moment, the two groups finally regrouped, and Nicole was getting ready to tell everyone what she saw. Suddenly, Laura ran out, holding up a sleeve belonging to Potter. "That's Potter's sleeve." After confirming, Lisa stepped forward to open the package, only to find Vincent's head inside. This time it was his identity, and his identity. However, what lay inside was Vincent's head, causing chaos among them. Even the blonde girl was hung up and didn't even realize it. But the anxious boyfriend messed up with the sharp tool's direction. Subscribe to our channel for more fun content.